I'm Heather Lockett, and this is Lasting Conversations. Arionte Thelisme is back with us today. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Heather. How are you today?
Very wonderful, wonderful.
You're looking wonderful, my love.
Thank you. You too.
Thank
Of
you.
course, somehow we must have gotten the memo that we're so color coordinated. It's hilarious.
Always. We're like spiritually connected,
I think
fashionably connected. We're just connected in general.
I think we are. And you have this amazing sweater shirt under your jacket that's of a piano. And so it just seems so fitting, not only with the harmony that you are.
Thank you.
But your the very keys of life, the very key.
Ooh.
And everything is keying into everything that you're doing.
Yes.
Now, you were here with us not that long ago, and you were about to leap into your next verse.
Yes.
You're heading to Atlanta. You have some sparkle. You are the divine spark. That was the title of episode 14 when you were with us.
Yes.
And so we're going to just continue the conversation before you head north from South Florida. So your fingers are saying,
on my way, ATL.
there you go. And they're all pink and fabulous and all kinds of amazing colors.
I appreciate that.
So welcome back. A reverse.
A reverse.
Who is a reverse?
A reverse is who Arionte is. And who Arionte is a one-of-one person, creative on a whole nother aspect. He is a man of God. He is resilient. He is diverse. He is one of one. And a reverse is one word. I mean, reverse is two words that's put together, right? So it's resilient and diverse. The A stands for Arionte, and it means Arionte's resilient diversity amongst the arts. So that is my brand, A reverse.
Beautiful. And all of that in terms of the dictionary may not count reverse in that manner, but this came to you in your heart space.
Yes.
The reverse.
Yes, it did.
Right. Right. And then we mentioned that the verse is your song.
Yes,
right? And
we did mention that.
And depending on past relations and everything else, we get to reverse our song to then move on forward and create a new merry tune.
Yes,
and that
we did discuss that.
Yeah, that is exactly what you're doing. So you have a lifestyle brand, interior design, your website, areverseexperience.com. I took a look and it is gorgeous. It's so gorgeous.
It took so much time.
Oh my gosh. The photography, the imagery.
I appreciate that.
We, in episode 14, we touched on your actual artwork and your all the feels behind your artwork. And that really plays forward in your website and what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And you have many, many pages with you're wearing many hats of what it is that you're doing and bringing forth into the world. So let's talk about a reverse experience.
Yes. So a reverse experience. So a reverse came about in college. So very grateful for the college experience because that my one goal was to get my bachelor's degree in the performing arts, but I surpassed that. I didn't know I was going to be an interior designer. I didn't know I was going to be a model. I didn't know I was going to be a creative director. I didn't know I was going to be a stylist. And things just kept coming. I had all this stuff already instilled in me, but college brought that out of me and showed me the things that I am capable of doing that the people told me I wasn't capable of doing growing up as a kid. And how it all started was with the interior designing. I always had a passion for decorating. Like growing up with my mom, like we would play music, and when she played that R&B soul music in the house, that's how you knew it was time to get things together in the house, clean up, do a little decorating and things of that such. So I always had a passion for decorating. It just followed me through my childhood, through my adulthood. So when I moved to Tallahassee and I had my dorm room, I decked her out and I ended up meeting friends. Friends came over, and this is my freshman year of college. Friends came over. They was like, "Oh my gosh, who did your room?" I'm like, "I did."
That's moi.
I did. I did. And they was like, "Do you mind doing my room?" I was like, "Sure, of course, no charge." I mean, I just something that made me happy, and I was like, no, let's just shoot for it, And I shot for it and they ended up loving it. And then after that, people seen their room. It was like, oh, can you do my room? I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna have to make this a business because, people just kept coming to me back and forth just from my room and the frame room that I did. So that's how A Reverse interior design came about.
And your first entrepreneurial explosion.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. If I never would have took that risk and went to college,
right,
that probably would never happen. Well, it probably would have, but longer in life. And then with A Reverse Visual, that's my modeling portfolio.
Okay.
Now, how that came about, when I was in Tallahassee for school, I joined this organization called Images. Now, that's a modeling troupe. So grateful for that troupe. I already had fashion. Like, I already had the style. But that troupe enhanced my fashion.
Right.
That troupe taught me about editorial modeling. They taught me about how to pose, angles, and things of that such. And I ain't gonna lie. They taught me about like techniques and walking and things of that such, but I wasn't much of a technique-y walker. I was more so in the creative aspect, like the fashion and the editorial modeling and things of that such. So they kind of like estimated me a little bit. So I was kind of like in the back, but when I was in the back, baby, just know I had my note and my pen and I was jotting down notes. I was watching every little thing that was going on in that troupe, every little skill, every little detail I paid attention to. And after I graduated from that organization, let me tell you, the things that I have took from that organization, I hold it on tight and I ran and I flourished with it. Flourished. When I mean flourished, I flourished. And I started from 2019 and I'm still flourishing with these modeling photos. My photos, majority of my photos come from my phone. They're edited by me. They're taken off my phone. And they're also creative directed by me. And these photos, I show these photos to people, they be like, oh my gosh, like, is this like a camera? And like these sceneries and things of that such. It's like, this is just mind blowing. This is beautiful pieces. And I got to give these pieces to God because He guides me through my artistry. He guides me through all of my artistry. And I feel like that's why people feel my artwork, and these pieces of mine they're not just photos.
Right.
They tell a story.
They're not just to look at, but you're meant to feel and experience.
Right. Yeah. And from the last episode, we was talking about childhood trauma that I've dealt with and the toxic relationships, all those hardships I've dealt with in my past, they expressed through my art. Right. And it's not just about the things I deal with. It's about real life situations what other people deal with. I did one on breast cancer awareness. I did one on mental health, the list goes on and on and on. But despite of all that, if it wasn't for Images and going to college and taking that risk, A Reverse Visual probably would not have happened this earlier in life. I'm just very grateful. And then I also have A Reverse Styling. That's when I just take the creative directing and the styling to other people, bring it to them and help them find that and help them enhance their style, help them be diverse in their style, And I'm just beyond grateful. And my artistry is resilient because it come from nothing, right? And now it's something, it's flourishing. I come from a low income family. And when I tell you, a lot of people, when I started like this modeling thing, the creative directing, I was like, a lot of people said, oh, you need a camera, you need a camera, you need a camera, you need a camera. They didn't really have funds for a camera. And I prayed, I said, God, this is my passion. I love doing this modeling thing. Like I can just feel the passion through my spirit. Like right now I don't have the funds for a camera. And I was like, God, just guide me through. And I took that risk on my phone. I started playing with different apps, edits and things of that such. And I didn't even need a camera. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't want to get a camera. It's like, oh my gosh. And that's how my work is resilient, because it comes from me having this little hardship of, not having this camera. And then it ended up going to me using my phone and me putting my magic. God just guided me through with these edits and these detailing. And it just ended up looking like it's camera quality, Mm-hmm. And then even like with the interior designing, if I can tell you how the rooms looked before I did my magic on them, it's honestly really depressing. You can tell and feel that my clients, you can feel a presence in the room. Right. You can feel an aura. And most of my clients, you can tell they had a lot of pain in that room. And the fact that I can be able to transform that, reverse mm-hmm. that through my artistry, through the passion.
And your sparkle.
My sparkle, right?
My sparkle comes forward and sprinkles all over the place.
And that's what makes my artwork resilient, because seeing these smiles on my clients' faces, I just don't do it. I just don't do interior designing. I call it the healing interior designing. Mm-hmm. How about that? Because seeing these clients transform their room from this point to this point, seeing them from emptiness and seeing them from no personality in their room, nothing that really signifies who they are, and putting that in their room really, 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 really brings me so much warmth to see them from sad to happy, and I'm all about making the impact with myself, but also with my people who I share my artistry with.
Mm-hmm. As you're speaking, I couldn't help but really hear interior design, mm-hmm. which always starts from the inside out.
Yes.
So all of that kind of heaviness, and there's a thickness to it. And I'm reminded of my interview with Kathy Andio, who does decluttering, and I myself am getting ready to sell my home. And so what no longer serves, what perhaps is even holding me down. Mm-hmm. So you go into your own heart and decide, okay, it's time to move something along. This is now no longer serving me, and to leave room to brighten up the day. Right. And my home has been amazing, mm-hmm. but we all have a home of some sort. Maybe it's an office, maybe it's a car, maybe it's a dorm room, whatever that is. So that interior design, that you have a beautiful person like yourself can come in and freshen it up, literally add the life, add a different way, add the color, change a perspective.
Yes.
Right. It's a reverse.
Yes. That's what it is.
It's a new song for an interior design.
I love it.
I love it because you bring all of that. Yes. And that's clearly so very, very important to you.
Thank you so much.
To rise somebody else up. Mm-hmm. Right. And, there's a quote, I've had it on my pegboard about a home should rise up to meet you. There's a very famous interior designer that said that your home should rise up to meet you, to greet you. Wow. So this is what you're doing. You're rising up to meet and greet everybody along your way.
Thank you.
Along your way.
Much.
So that's wonderful. And I love what you're saying about the camera and the equipment and the resiliency. The New Englander in me says, well, that's some Yankee ingenuity. You just rethink, well, what is at hand? What are the tools at hand? And then you have your divine spark that reminds you, oh, listen, you have a tool right here. And my phone is really my camera. And I find that very, very exciting. And obviously they're the very long lenses. The phones can do amazing things. And then to all the professionals out there, the big equipment is extraordinary as well. But that very resiliency to say, this is what I have in my hand, and let's go.
Let's go.
And let's go.
Yeah. And it's like throughout my life, like any battle or any hardship that I've dealt with, I was always I was always forced to be resilient. And I felt like, which is a great thing. I'm just honestly so glad that I don't let life bring me down, right? And if it does get to that point, I'm able to build myself back up and learn from that experience.
Right.
And I feel like the same thing goes for my artistry, just like you said. And it just don't go for the artistry. Then it goes for like the clients that I've touched, you know?
Right.
So it's just a beautiful thing to be able to do, to be able to leave an impact for people.
That's really amazing. And you work with kids, and so part of your next venture is some improv and teaching.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the theatrical piece and the improv, because that is, I'm actually going to say, part of an interior design, because it gets us up and out of ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
And if it's fun, and most of us grown-ups who are thinking, well, I can't sing, I can't act, I can't. No. Having an improv class.
Oh,
I hear myself talking. I should probably go do one. No. Just for shits and giggles, because that's next level to help us get up and over ourselves. Right.
It really is. And honestly, so yeah, that is the backup plan. When I do move to ATL is to be a theater improv teacher. But yeah, theater
a stepping
itself,
stone. It's a little stepping stone.
It's a little stepping stone.
You get to know a lot of people. You're going to sparkle away. And stepping stone.
It is so therapeutic. I think theater improv should be mandatory for all students in elementary or middle school, because even like when me substituting throughout West Palm Beach, I did some theater improv with my students, even if it was like a math class or a science class or whatever. Like I said, like, all right, guys, we're going to start off with an activity for 15 minutes. And like, honestly, you would not believe kids that was in the class that was like introvert or like they were like antisocial. It kind of like opened them up a little bit, you know? And honestly, I did like a little activity. It was called Let It Go. Like shake it, like we were shaking it off. And then like, we was just honestly just being really goofy. I was like, don't close your eyes. Don't worry who's next to you, who's in the front of you. Just be yourself, right? And with this activity, I actually had them sit still for a moment. And when I had them sit still for a moment, after doing like that crazy thing and like them just wilding out and just being very theatrical, I asked them, who are you? Who are you? And believe it or not, after doing that activity and telling these kids, who are you? And I'll go around the room, they'll like tell me their name very loud and proud after doing the activity. I would ask them from the beginning. And from the beginning, when we did the activity, it was like really like, you can tell they didn't really have a voice for themselves. But after doing the theatrical and like just letting go and just being free and not caring who's in the room and just letting your body flow, then I asked them again, who are you? And it was some type of confidence. Like you can tell their voice was lifted when they said their name around again. And one student cried in the classroom after that whole activity. And I feel like theater is like therapy. You know, even with social media that's going on, like social media is also a blessing, but then a curse because people, it's like people, they see what's on social media and they try to compare themselves and they try to be like this person, that person. And honestly, you have to learn how to be yourself, you know, be yourself. And a lot of the students that I've dealt with through this substituting journey, I feel like they were stuck in this little box and they were so afraid to be able to let go, right? They were so afraid to be able to let go because they was afraid of this person might say this person might say that, how social media may perceive them. And that whole activity itself really, really, really just let the kids, most importantly, see their light, right? Hear their voice without caring about the world. So yeah, theater is very important, and I think it's mandatory. So I'm going to have to speak to the school district.
Well, that's a whole nother topic about saving the arts within the school programs. Recess, arts, sports, all of the things that, academics are important, but all of these other things are vital. They're vital for the health and the rest of humanity. So I just love that, the giggles, and if that young one had the tears, that was their little soul speaking, just to recognize, is there something else? So go ahead and talk. Like, what do you think that person's little tears were saying? Help, or I'm happy to be here. Yes, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
My gosh, and I'm not even trying to brag, Miss Heather. Like,
no, brag away.
I'm gonna brag away.
Go ahead. No, you say you own it.
My gosh,
own it.
People forget to be a kid. Mm-hmm. People forget to be a kid.
And some kids forget that they can be a kid.
Oh my God. And it's so sad. And I feel like social media, that's why I said social media, takes that kid away.
Do you think that's another layer? See, I know you're a much younger person, so I'm appreciating this perspective. So from your perspective, because my generation is thinking, well, kids these days, they live for it. And some people do. And that is their community.
Right.
But at what point is it a false community? And where do they get away from their own self? Especially if it's all about, you like it or you don't like it. Are you liked or not liked?
Right. Every little thing, every little detail.
So I want your perspective on this. This is very interesting.
It's like trying to pitch point the perfect, right? Pitch point the perfect, and they're seeing these trends on social media. They're trying to follow these trends, and they forget to see the trend within themselves.
There it is.
Right? Mm-hmm. They're following all these other trends that these celebrities or whoever is starting, and they forget to find the trend within themselves. You be your own trend.
You can be your own influencer. Influence yourself.
Yeah, and my heart pours out to these kids. It really do. And that's why I was like, Lord, if this job is temporary for me, let me leave an impact in their life, because they need it. This new generation needs it. It needs it. And I've touched so many kids. My light, my sparkle have touched so many kids. And these kids go through a lot, and they go through so much pressure, and they're suppressing. And I feel like when that kid cried, he was holding so much in, and he was just afraid to be able to let go because other people's perspective. And that's why I said theater is therapeutic. And I feel like these kids need it, because it's opening up wounds. It's showing them that who cares? Mm-hmm. Who cares of the outside world? You just be yourself and you live it to the fullest. It's okay to be a kid again. Life don't always have to be so serious. I feel like when we be a kid again, I feel like that's when the creative aspect of life really, really, really pop out. That's what happens with me. Like when I be a kid and I do certain things with my artistry and just let it flow and not be so structured and just trusting the process. That's when the magic happens, honestly. When honestly, it's a lot that goes in within my artistry. I got to really honestly give it to God. But yeah, Heather, it's a beautiful thing to just really see these kids be kids.
That's really fun. And for all of us to remember that we get to be a kid, let our inner child, let our freak flag fly, just let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. And to have the fun of life. Have the fun in life.
Have the fun of life.
Oh my gosh. So is there another page to your A-Reverse experience? So you've got the interior design.
Yeah, we have the interior design.
Photographer, your modeling. I think there's something else, isn't there?
The styling.
Styling, that's right.
Yeah, but we already talked about it.
We did. But there's another flavor to it. I don't know. What else? There's more.
Okay. So
Maybe it's because it's beyond your brand.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's next level. You're going to have your own show.
Oh,
you are on stage.
I can see that now. And I truly do appreciate that. Like every time I'm at my job, like, and people say, oh, I just see superstar written all over you.
Right.
That little sparkle come again. It's like, yes, it's reminding me, yep, your time is coming.
Right.
And it's because first off, I pour so much unconditional love into people. Mm-hmm. I'm so genuine, and I let my art speak for itself, and my love comes from God's love. And the way that God loves me is the way that I love other people. And honestly, I feel like that's why I'm going so far in life. I'm going so far in life, and people just can gravitate, and people just can like feel the presence, be like, wow, your energy is just on a whole nother level. The person who you are, the way you hold yourself, the way you get through certain obstacles. Like a lot of my friends look up to me, and it's just a good feeling, and like I was saying before, like resilient and diverse, those two words there makes me reverse. And looking at my logo here, this is my logo. What do you notice in this logo?
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Let's see. Oh, wow. Well, well, that's powerful.
Oh.
So I know we do have cameras here, but it's, I see so much I really can't explain it. And because I'm getting blasted in the energy of the power.
Wow.
There's a power here and a golden light, and
really
it's expressive. There's multiple genders, but in the best powerful way. That's that divine masculine, feminine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a tuxedo. I could try to describe it, but y'all go online. It's powerful. I see power, joy, beauty, and how your hair, there's this golden ball of light. I don't know. It just, I get all the feels.
You get all the feels.
I get all the feels.
Oh my gosh.
It's powerful.
I truly do appreciate
really is powerful.
that. I truly do appreciate that.
And you did that on phone cameras? Holy moly.
Oh, well, not this particular piece. Right. This was actually, I said, if I'm going to do my website, I'm going to go all out.
Got it. Okay.
So now I actually got a photographer for this piece, but 90% of my work comes from my phone and 10% comes from other photographers.
And then you got to prop it up to photographers with the big ass lenses and the flashes and all of that, because it's next level.
Yeah. And
it's next level.
I do really honestly got to give it to my friends that really because without them, some of these pictures probably would even be on, probably would have most of these pictures because they're there supporting me, taking my pictures, even though it's on my phone. No, I don't have a tripod standing up. My friends are getting those angles with me, and they're like helping me find the right angle. So I got to give it to my friends as well too. I have a great support system, a great, 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 great support system.
And that's the best. Maybe we'll toggle a little bit to that, to have a posse, to have some cheerleading, to have that team. We can have our relationship to the divine creator, God, as our muse, as the one that can lead us forward. But really, it's all about our team, our in-person team that has your back and can help give us perspective or have the fun on a photo shoot. But that's what you're just describing. The different camera angles are different perspectives, and then it all comes together.
Even with the different perspectives, something that I don't see, my friends see. They was like, oh, friend, I think you may need to switch this up a little bit or switch that up. I may come up with the whole idea, but I ain't gonna lie. My friends being on the sideline, I'd be like, oh, this need to be tweaked up a little bit. Oh, this detail, this. And it honestly, those little details be making a big difference. It really does.
Well, I like what you just said of, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. And we do that sometimes. We can't see in ourselves even the best light. Now you're talking, we're all a metaphor here with the photos here. But seriously, right? who can see us in our best light. And maybe sometimes somebody doesn't, or their perspective is off. So their lens of perspective is like, meh.
Oh
so I was saying I had a little moment like that this week where I had to dig deep on that. But what happened was, so someone's lens of perspective was sadly very, 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 very dark from their own place. And what I was gifted almost immediately was my own posse, was a team that started showering me with, I see you and you're on the right track and we love you. And so that was very helpful because sometimes someone can dig deep, can cut deep. And so to have the team, to have our posse who has our back in ways that we can't see sometimes. Right. And this is what the extraordinary journey is really. It really, really is. And having what you're about to do, leaping into your next adventure, and mine here with the podcast, and having us both be here with a voice and a microphone to be out into the ethers. We don't know whose lives we might be touching. And it's extraordinary. It can feel a little nervous, at least for me, because it's a stretch. But I just know that we're both on the right path.
Yes, I can feel it too.
And I appreciate you being that mirror and messenger. And we just have this back and forth kismet. And it's so fun.
Yeah, it is. It's always a moment with me and you, Heather.
I know.
Always a moment. And I truly do appreciate it. And we have to be able to reflect off each other with positive energy. That's what this world needs. People forget that this world needs love. Amongst everything else, the materialistic, the money, whatever, this world needs love. And we need to work together. Right? I feel when people stop being so selfish and be selfless a little bit, things will start to fall in place for you, right? Because like we said, what you may not see in yourself, somebody may see in you, right? So we try to do everything by ourselves. We try to be like, I got this. This is all me. Honestly, that's not how life works. That is not how life works. And I already said that from the get-go. I was like, when I make it big in life, I already know who I'm giving my glory to. Most importantly, God. Secondly, from my friends that really supported me and helped me guide me through. I'm never going to be like, oh, I did this all by myself. And also, the resilience, that's a major part of my artistry, is going through those difficult experiences and then using them and putting them in my art. The modeling, the interior designing, styling other people, and I'm just very grateful for those experiences. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I feel like sometimes people have to be able to wake up and realize everything in life is a learning experience. And stop drowning yourself from the weight of the world. Stop drowning yourself from the weight of the world and pick yourself and learn from those lifetime experiences. I know it's easier said than done. And I know we all have our moments, but they have to just know and understand that there's better on the horizon. And those experiences is going to build character. It's going to give you wisdom. It's going to give you strength. If you just wait on the Lord, He is going to renew your strength. I'm telling you that. I am telling you, because I wouldn't tell you anything that I haven't experienced. I wouldn't be telling you this. I've went through those experiences and I had to wait. My artistry had to wait before it got the way it got now. It's so beautiful, but I didn't see all these things. Me joining that modeling troupe, me doing my own room, I didn't know that those little things that I've put my dedication in or whatever, I didn't know it was going to turn out to something big like this. I just made a whole name for myself. And when I went to college, that stuff was hard. It was hard, but I would not change it for anything in the world, because those hardships molded me into the man of steel that I am today.
Yes, sir.
And people have to know that
Right.
there is better coming.
Right.
And when those hardships and those things beat you down and it's hard and it's just know it's molding you. It's building you up. It's structuring you. Just know that. And yeah.
And and as you are sharing your wisdom and your joy, I'm looking again at your beautiful shirt that has the piano keys. But what I'm seeing is they're like the stepping stones.
Oh my God, girl.
Rising high, rising high, rising high. So your harmony, again, you're rising high.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. And I know we really should end, but I have to tap back on this 1 second in terms of the fashion. And when you see people and you're giving them their light and their own sense of fashion, right? And because again, perspectives, I think sometimes people come in with their perspective and I'm going to dress you in my image. But I want you to talk about that for a second, because I think everything that you're just saying goes back that you see an image that is probably better than someone, if they're not feeling so great about their house or their clothing, whatever, that whole interior design that we were talking about, but you see in and then can bring out their fashion.
Right.
Right. Is that part of your whole premise, really?
No,
it's bringing out the best in somebody else.
No, it really is.
Somebody's fashion might be jeans and a t-shirt. Somebody else's fashion might be ruffles and boas. Right.
No, definitely. Like you said, like I'm all about bringing that light, bringing that color, bringing a little bit of enhancement, a little bit of vibrancy into somebody's life through the fashion or even through the interior design. And we all need light.
Yes.
We all need some color. And to be able to do that and make people feel a little bit more expressive, you can tell it's like, it's a little weight off their shoulders, a
little splish splash.
Yeah, a little
zhuzh. I wore a scarf today. It's got
your colors in your scarf. And it tells you, without that scarf, you already look beautiful. You look beautiful, but without that scarf, you just added a nice touch. And that touch right there says a lot. It's a statement piece.
Right.
It's a statement piece. And I feel like we all need a touch of something to be able to give a statement of who we are and where we come from. Because believe it or not, colors really uplift people. Colors have emotion, right? And I'm not trying to judge or anything like that, but when we're in a dark place, there's like just darkness. You feel it.
Right.
Right. And when you're just in a room of color, right, you feel, what's the word? You feel uplifted. It's just like when it's light outside, right? And you don't open, the blinds are closed, right? It's heavy. When you open those blinds and that light shine, just feel so refreshed. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to refresh souls,
Ooh, there it is.
I want to refresh
knew we had
souls.
We had one more nugget to pull on out.
Yep. I want to refresh souls. It's refreshing a soul. And I feel like sometimes people get stuck in that
grayscale.
That grayscale, what they're so used to. And when you take that chance and get out of your comfort zone.
Right.
When you get out of your comfort zone, that's when you're able to grow. Right. And you're trying new things and you're filling out life. First off, just getting out of your comfort zone. It's, even if you don't like it, the fact that you took that risk was beautiful itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like sometimes people have to be able to get out of that grayscale and just try new things. Brighten your color. This world needs a lot of color. It definitely does. It needs a lot of color. it's starting to remind me. I don't know if you have watched Halloween Town.
I have not. I haven't.
I think Richard probably, he's in my childhood.
Our dude over here.
But Halloween Town, I think it was Halloween Town 2 when the town starts to get gray. And when they start to get gray, they were so structured. There was no light. There was no personality. There was no... Everything was just so bland, so plain. And I feel like that's what this world is getting to now, especially with social media coming involved. I feel like this world is turning gray, and we just do some splashing of color to wake them up, to be able to be a kid again. Just, refreshing the soul.
Right.
Yeah.
In honest and pure. So I'll throw a different movie out. It's Pleasantville. The soundtrack is amazing, but it does that where it's a black and white movie, and then I won't even spoil the punchline for you, but it adds color. It brings to life.
Right.
So yeah, Pleasantville is an amazing story to what you're just saying, as a matter of fact.
Thank you.
Finding that inner spark.
Yeah.
And having art. Yeah, Pleasantville. Not to make
a
Hollywood pitch, but I'm telling you, it's a very, very, very poignant and beautiful movie.
Yeah, I'm going to have to definitely check that out.
You'll have fun with that one.
Yeah.
And so we are, what?
Oh, go ahead.
Richard saying hi? No?
Oh, no.
Oh, we're good.
No,
we're good.
Sorry.
We're just having a little fun here, a little sparkle in the studio.
Yes.
So, Arionte Thelisme, thank you so much once again for being here. I wish you well in your journey. I will probably see you in Atlanta.
Thank
and
you.
if I don't see you in the physical, I will see you on air somewhere.
Oh, yes,
Absolutely.
You will. We're already claiming it, my love. We're already
claiming it.
I can feel that spark now.
That's right. That's right. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to be part of the conversation, send emails to podcasts@lastingconversations.com and follow us on Facebook. This is Lasting Conversations. We get to the heart of everything.